Wednesday. Doing some work for another bus company today, so I'm just on my way from our yard in Listowel down to Niagara Falls, where I'll meet a group, do some touring around the falls today. Then I'll head into Toronto with them, do some touring in Toronto, and finally drop them off tonight at their hotel. It's going to be a long day for me, maxing out my hours. 16 hours on duties maximum in Canada, and I probably use all of those hours today. But it should be a good day. The group I'm working with is most likely Japanese from the looks of the paperwork. They're always a good group of people to work with. And we'll be overnighting tonight in Toronto at a hotel and heading tomorrow for a camp run out of Toronto. I have a few days of work out of Toronto, so I'll be staying in Toronto for a couple of nights, and then on Saturday I'm doing a pickup in Toronto, but going to Ottawa, Montreal, and Quebec City. 3 days, so it should be a good tour. In just a few minutes I'm going to be stopping for breakfast, like all good Canadians. I'm going to go to Tim Hortons. Right back with you in a little bit. So we're on our way to Niagara Falls now. We're just coming down to St. Jacobs, Ontario, and here is a traffic circle. These things are multiplying, particularly here in Waterloo region, but they're becoming more popular. There's a new one in Woodstock. There's some new ones down around the outskirts of Hamilton. And some people like them, some people don't. I find that as long as they're designed all right, this one's not too bad. Some people tell me they hate this one. I don't find it's too hard to work with. I've been around it in a tractor trailer, I've been around it in a bus, I've been around it in a car. I've never had a huge problem. There are some that I've had some problems with. There's one outside of Ottawa, just around Merrickville, that is awfully tight to get around, even with the bus. I have a hard time getting around it. Anyways, off we go down to the Conestoga Expressway, which is all under construction, and we'll head down Highway 6 to Hamilton, and then 403 QEW down to Niagara Falls. I have a pickup at one of the hotels there. One of the peculiarities of dealing with the Japanese tourist is the way they like their baggage handled. So their baggage will all come out, brought out by the hotel. They don't have to bring their own bags. The hotel will bring them. Then I have to line them up outside on the sidewalk, put the first row in the bins, then I'll put a row or 2 rows on the sidewalk. And then I'm not allowed to actually put them into the bins and close them up until everybody has come down, gotten on the bus, and identified their bags to make sure their bags are here. Not necessarily a bad way. Just makes for a very quick, sweaty loading period when they finally do all say that they are here. Then I have to throw their bags on as quickly as possible, then we'll head out on our tour. So here we come to the construction, and I'll have to concentrate a bit here perhaps. We may have some slowdowns here and there for some lane closures, so I'll talk to you later. And just coming up here, we have the last of the new en route centers being built. All of our built just only maybe 10-15 years ago. So they've left them, and they may be left for a few years now. I don't know quite what the plan is with them, but here we are, the Cambridge en route. The westbound one is open. It just opened recently. You can see it there on the left. And the eastbound one, well, it's obviously still not quite open yet. It's not quite finished. Still a lot of work on the property to be done. A lot of paving. Got the fuel area open, and maybe it'll be ready to open soon too. It takes them a long time to rebuild these things. I don't really know why. It's not so bad now, but a few years ago they had almost all the darn things closed down. So here we are at Clappison's Corners, which is where Highway 5 crosses Highway 6, right above Hamilton. And we'll go down Clappison's Cut down into pick up Highway 6. Now notice where I was stopped in relation to that car in front. Now remember, buses don't have a big front overhang, and you need to stay back. We'll show you here again. You need to stay back still, so that if something happens with the vehicles in front, they break down, they stall out in some other way, pop the clutch or whatever, you can still get out from behind them. The closer that you get with the bus, the more your tail swing is going to affect you as you try and get out around. So it's better to hang back a little bit like this. Give yourself some room. It's also good defense in case somebody comes up behind you, rear ends you. They don't drive you forward into the vehicle in front. We'll be doing some touring this morning. I pick them up, load their luggage. We drive around this actual Niagara Falls area here. Well, not this exact area. This is sort of part of the residential industrial part of Niagara Falls. But we'll drive around Niagara Falls, go to some of the things that are here, and then 11:30 we do our lunch, and then we'll probably be taking the Parkway towards Niagara-on-the-Lake. We'll do some stops along the way at the things that the tour group want to see. There are some specific spots that they almost always stop at. I used to do a lot of work with Japanese, so a lot of this, well, it'll take a little while maybe for some of it to come back to me, but it'll all be familiar as the day goes on, I'm sure. So Bridge to USA, use left lane. The Falls, use the right lane. And I definitely do not want to go to the USA today, so I will stay to the right. Down the hill. And in just a few minutes we'll be able to see the Falls. Apparently I'm 590 meters from my stop. Down here, around this tight curve. This can back up pretty badly too, particularly when there's lots of people crossing the Rainbow Bridge. I don't expect it to be too bad today. So straight across you can see the buildings that you can see, most of them are on the other side. Straight ahead of us, the green structure, that's Canada Customs coming back from the US. And here we are in the Falls Avenue Tourist District. Okay, so we've picked up the people and we're just going to head out and start our tour. I'm only going to include a little bit of the touring today. I'll do another driving touring video, but it would make this day's video much too long. But I will give you a chance to listen to briefly what I listened to all day, the step-on guide doing the tour. And here she is. She's going to take a moment and introduce me.
じゃあおはようございます。じゃあこれからですね、観光の方を始めさせていただきますけども、ガイドは昨日と同じく私、菊代です。で、運転手が変わりました。お名前がエリックさんですね。よろしくお願いいたします。ではね、はい、今日ですね。
Okay, so we're driving in the HOV lanes of the 403. We're heading towards Toronto, going through Burlington. This HOV lane runs through Burlington and Oakville. It can be very helpful at times. You see how busy the highway is on the other side. There is an HOV lane there as well, heading towards Niagara. QEW doesn't have eastbound or westbound because it goes around the lake. It's on both north and south shores of Lake Ontario. So it has Toronto bound and Niagara bound. Toronto, downtown Toronto, Ontario. This is the Gardiner Expressway that we're running on. This is an elevated highway. We're just past the CNE grounds. Here on our right is part of the garrison buildings at Old Fort York. Old Fort York is actually on the left side of the highway. It's the original fortification here at Toronto that was taken briefly by the Americans, I believe, in the War of 1812. All these condos are new. Big building boom in downtown Toronto with all these condos. Some of them close to the lake, some of them not so close to the lake. There's a big renaissance of people moving into downtown Toronto to live. This is the Spadina Street exit coming up. Spadina Avenue. Spadina Street is further north in Toronto. But look at all the condos, and some of them right beside the highway. It's absolutely incredible. And they're little tiny closets of spaces too. But if you want the in-town living, in-town lifestyle, that's a way that you can get it. A lot of these are being bought up by investors, though, I think, and they're rented out. So we're going down here. We're going to get off to go into downtown at York Street. Here on the left now we're coming up to the Rogers Centre, which most of us still call the Sky Dome. The stadium where both Canadian football, the Argos, play, and the Toronto Blue Jays play baseball there. And you saw a little bit of the base of the CN Tower as well. So here we're getting off on the York Street ramp. It's not very interesting to watch going around the ramp through the traffic lights. But anyways, here we are on University Avenue northbound. This is an area right now we're going through where all the hospitals are. The major hospitals in the city are all right here. We're crossing College. The University of Toronto is off to the left, and some of the buildings to the right. Most of the buildings to the right are government offices. Toronto is the capital of the province of Ontario, and that's where we're going now. We're going to the Capitol building, if you want to put it that way, of Ontario. We're just going to stop here for some pictures. As buses, we are generally allowed to pull up right in front here in this little circle. Sometimes they have it closed off, but they will make alternate arrangements for the buses to drop people off if they are available, at least to go in here to... They do have tours, but most groups just come here to take pictures. This is Bay Street South. And we're just we're just following a route down to get to our supper. So they wanted to take a look at the city halls. Now this is after supper. The group has had their supper, and now they're going to go on the Toronto Island Ferry. So we're just heading to the ferry dock. We're underneath the Gardiner Expressway. You can see how poor repair it is. There's always concrete falling here, and they're trying to sort out what they're going to do with it. It's been a big battle for years and years and years, because it divides downtown from the lakefront. You can see the lakeshore straight ahead of us. Okay, so we're headed now to drop them off at their hotel. We're headed up the Don Valley Parkway northbound. This is a very beautiful drive. It's not something that I, in my experience, have done all that often because I live more to the west, but the Don Valley is a very pretty drive for a highway right in the heart of the city. See this? This is the kind of spot where you have to lift the back end of your bus. This is so steep that you'll bottom out. I actually did touch down coming in here. So I'll just kick it up and then it won't bottom out here in this tight spot in the bottom. And I have to go to the right, which is fun. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hurry up, duckies. Hurry. Hurry, get across there, duckies. Now it should be interesting to see if I either get parked easily here tonight or whether I have to build me a parking spot. Should prove interesting. If I can get into the hotel parking lot, I should be okay, but this to keep the trucks out, they've placed all sorts of rocks and blocks and stuff all over the place here, so normally I can find a spot to park. Often I end up parking in the bobtail parking here. Let's see what I can see. My engine brake off, and I will slip in this away. Dim my headlights. Make my way through the parking lot here. For a Canadian truck stop, this parking lot's not bad. At least it's hard. It's not dirt. I see my parking spot. I do. And further to that, I do. And it's not going to be as easy for me to get into because of the angle I came at it on, but it is doable, nevertheless. Okay. It's bad enough that my bus beeps. I'm not honking my horn to wake up the world. Not that it's that late, but there'll be people asleep. Let me see if I can swing this around without clipping this guy. Maybe not. There we go. That's better. He'll be happier, I'll be happier, we'll all be happier if I don't hit him. Curve. I'm against the curve. Good. So, that's it for tonight, I think. I shall do up my paperwork. Switch to on duty so I can do that. And tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow I take kids to summer camp. It's always exciting. I get to drive up there loaded, dump them off, and then I turn around and come back empty. So, talk to you again tomorrow.